Well, now I want to turn to Phil at home for our local clubs and NMRA division segment that we do. Phil, welcome.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. Well, everyone, I do a little slight change of plans tonight. I originally my intent was to focus tonight on the convention we're doing out here in California in 2024. But I actually had something show up that I thought was really interesting, and it's really maybe more from a club perspective, but I think there's an interesting question about would something like this work for divisions, et cetera. So what I saw was an email that came out about asking me if I would be willing to send out an email about an event. And they were coming up in our local area. Three clubs in our area were having a visit from the company called Scale Trains, which is an HO and an S company. So those of you who know Scale probably haven't heard of them. But they're a company that manufactures a number of new products in this space. So got this invite, got this info and said, hey, can you publish this? Put it out into our groups.io. So I ended up going and looking at their website. And what I found was very interesting is that Scale Trains does a road trip. And what they do is they try to align with shows that are going on and put clubs on a list to visit them. That's how they used to do it. But this year, they actually, if you read the text here, they've actually bought a motorhome and they're literally driving around the country and doing a road trip. And so you can apply as a club and they will invite and come to your club, and they come for the evening. And basically what they do is they come in and they show you the models they have, et cetera. They have some gift bags and giveaways, et cetera. And, probably, I don't know if you schedule it around something to eat in the evening or anything. These are the ones they have scheduled. And these are all the places that they've been in the past. So I thought this was a really interesting thing that I obviously a whole bunch of people are aware of. What I wanted to do was kind of stop that share. And what I'd like to do is share a video. This is actually their video of kind of about their visits and shows.
Hi, I'm Shane with Scale Trains, and welcome to the Scale Trains road trip. So one of the questions we have as we travel is, well, what exactly happens at a meet and greet? So a lot of fun things happen. Of course, we set up a display of all of our latest products, and also there's tons of things that we're giving away. You'll get a gift bag when you come that has some goodies from us, including an exclusive road trip pin you can only get in the bag. We have some other goodies from our partners, folks like White River, which is Railroad Model Craftsman, and others. And then also we do things like giveaways of Scale Trains pins and rivet counter pins, and we encourage everybody to pick up all the models on display. Now, the first thing we do when we get to a meet and greet, and after everybody gets settled in, is we lock all the doors to make sure nobody leaves until they buy something. No, really, it's not a Scale Trains infomercial. What we do is we tell our story, how we got started. I'll tell you, it's nothing short of a miracle. It's amazing how we've been blessed. And then we do a couple of neat things. We'll take a behind-the-scenes look at the product development process, part of the research, the CAD design, and then of course the tooling. And then we go back to our factory and we actually take a look at the manufacturing process, from molding to painting to printing and final assembly, and a ton of other little tidbits as well. And then we, of course, encourage questions, right? Throughout the presentation, if folks want to learn more about some of the things that we're talking about. And most people save their questions till the end, and we'll have like a Q&A session. So if there's anything you've ever wanted to ask a model train manufacturer, here's a great opportunity. Well, as we travel across the country, make sure that you take a look at the road trip webpage, as well as our Facebook group, to stay abreast of the latest places that we're visiting. We'd love to have you come and join us, and we look forward to meeting you on the road.
So anyway, that I thought that was really interesting. I thought I'd kind of throw it open. Is this something that other vendors should be thinking about? Is it, comments from other folks? Any thoughts? Has anyone been to one of these? Are they effective? it's an interesting thing about how do you get a product out to people to look at it, to buy it beyond the internet? Does this seem like a reasonably effective way? Obviously, if you're a club, you got the links there. I'll put the links up in the chat. For going to them, you can go and request a presentation there. Since I think the majority of clubs are HO clubs, I think that fits in very well on the club side. One of my questions is how can, NMRA divisions potentially become more integrated, and, having vendors do reach outs like this, because it may be a very effective way of reaching out with your products. Anyway, any thoughts from anyone? Or
there was the Philly division had me come to a talk about a year and change ago, and then at Amherst they asked me to basically give it again. So I've done it. I enjoy doing it, but I kind of feel like my problem is I need to make it more interactive for myself.
Yeah.
But
and clearly, I think they're a more volume manufacturer.
Oh, yeah.
Too. I think I guess that's one of the questions is for the volume guys like a Bachman or, those kind of guys. Because, one of the challenges, I think most modelers never actually see, other, the manufacturers. If you're not where you can go to a train show or to a convention or something like that, you probably don't get to see a lot of people. So the idea of actually going out on the road and being able to go to a number of places seems to me to be a very interesting business thought process. So anyway, it's kind of a twofold this week. I mean, one side is for clubs, and I think some ministry, I'm going to basically ping them and see, if they can do something like where we're going to do a divisional event and invite them to come to the divisional event and use it as a promotion for the event and an opportunity for them. So that maybe becomes an extension. Question is what kind of attendance they're looking for, et cetera. So anyway, and then secondly, I thought for other vendors to think about, how they're doing that. Could that be integrated with, are there other opportunities to do that more outreach to the community? Anyway, with that, I'll throw it back to you, Jim.
I don't know about other people, but I personally think it's a great idea. It's, the thing that impresses me about it is you're not just talking about selling product. You're talking about the process that goes into actually producing that product and what's involved, and helping the modeler understand, it's kind of like the food, where the food comes from, and so he gets to see the research, he gets to see the manufacturing processes and so forth that's involved in it. And I think that's valuable because, we all, we see the finished product, but we have no idea most times what it took to get there.
Well, and I think it's very interesting because I think it looks like a lot of their manufacturing may be onshored. So that would be an interesting question. I would be interested in understanding when he basically was talking about the factory and that. So that would be fairly interesting.
I think it would be too, and because he is, they produce an awful lot of different products. I mean, no question about it. I mean, they're always coming out, it seems like, with something new. So, finding out about companies and like a Bachman, for example, or an Atlas or any larger company, having that personal touch, I really think is great. But, at the same time, not my decision to make.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
I will throw it back to you. Thanks, Jim.